When it comes to sprinting in a straight line, one of the first things that has to be talked about is acceleration phase versus top end speed phase. You see, when sprinting, let's say at least 30 to 40 yards, and you're able to get up to full speed, it's really important to know the mechanical differences of the first 10 yards or so, acceleration phase, in the end of the sprint, when you're up to speed, which is called top end speed phase. These two phases in a sprint both have slightly different mechanics in how your legs should move and your posture. Acceleration phase is when you're trying to get up to speed as fast as possible, typically your first 5 to 6 steps in a sprint. Top end speed phase is after you get up to speed, and then you're more in an upright position. This is also why I call it upright sprinting as well, because you're not always at full speed when you're using top end speed mechanics. Typically, this could be because you have a ball or stick in your hand that forces you into more of an upright position. But again, you're not at full speed, but you're using similar mechanics to what top end speed mechanics are. It's incredibly important when trying to get faster before you're getting into speed training to not only know the differences of these two phases, but be able to visually see the differences. In this first video here, I'm going to briefly go over the differences. Then in the next video, I'll go through each phase individually. In this clip here, you'll see me in acceleration phase. Ideally, when I drive out in my first step, I should be at about a 45-degree angle from neck to my back ankle. As I drive my knee up into my first step, trying to get as forward as much as possible while maintaining an angle and attacking the ground of the ball of the foot underneath my hip. Notice how my legs are moving. As my foot bounces off the ground, I punch my knee back up in the shortest line possible from the floor to recovery position, which we'll go over in the next video. Acceleration phase, simply put, is drive out, maintain an angle, punch the knee up, strike down into the ground as hard as possible on the ball of the foot, and then bounce the foot off the ground. Moving the legs in a piston-like motion, just like you see me here doing repetitively. Compare this to when I'm up to speed here and in top end speed phase. You will quickly and easily be able to see that my posture is upright versus at an angle. My legs are cycling in a circular pattern underneath my hip as they come off the ground in that circular motion versus a straight line like you see in acceleration phase. That circular motion allows me to get the leg around and back to the ground while striking on the ball of the foot to pull me forward underneath the hip, not in front of the hip or in front of me. Hopefully this helps out when it comes to speed training. In the next video, I will go over acceleration phase in depth, then top end speed phase on its own as well.